But it's time for my life now.
There are places I remember in my life. I love you more.
So with a new year dawning, you probably got a resolution to live your dreams and do what you've really, really wanted to do. And we've got a guy sitting right in front of me now who's finally published the book that he's wanted to write from his teens. So only 40 years and 40 new years to get where he is now, but he's finally there. He's a local author. His name's Martin Link. And his book, Misdirection, is what we're going to predominantly talk about. Happy New Year, Martin. Lovely to see you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much, Joe. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. So, from your teens, so if we go back to your teens, can you think of a book or a moment or an event or even a person who made you want to write? Because for many of us, when we're at school, writing becomes a chore, and I think sometimes we lose the enthusiasm for reading and for writing, which is a great shame. No one's fault, it's just the way life pans out. So for you, what was it, do you think, that from your teens made you want to do this?
I can't think of a particular instance, to be honest, but I always loved films, and I loved the sort of James Bond genre, that sort of thing. And I guess from that, and there was a little bit at school that I wasn't particularly good at writing, to say the least. I was quite good at maths, sciences, that sort of stuff, and that's what I actually went on to in my career. But I like stories, and I like the idea of writing a story, but my spelling left somewhat to be desired, as did my sort of grammar prowess, which was non-existent. So I very much wanted to do something, but there was nothing that really set me off to want to do it, if you like. It was just
And of course then, when we were younger, there was very much an emphasis on grammar and spelling, which are all very important, but if there was any creativity behind that, if you couldn't do those things, then it was almost rebuffed, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, as I say, I went on, I had a family, 3 lovely sons, career, etc. But I always had this niggling desire to write. And you're right, absolutely right. One of the things that did strike me only a few years ago was that someone said to me that, well, there are authors and they come up with great stories and things like that, and there are editors, but it's not often that someone who's doing writing a story, if you like, is a great editor, or vice versa. It's very rare. Most writers have editors, etc. And it struck me then, well, perhaps there is a chance that I might be able to get better with my grammar and use editors to perhaps get it right at the end of the day.
Absolutely, because it's a key partnership, and most authors will always credit an editor as being, crucial to the end project or product.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've done a career in electrical engineering. No, that's fine. Electrical engineering, and we've got this. We've got a family. We've got 3 sons. Life takes over, I suppose, as it does for most of us. And then we get to which point where you think, I am actually going to sit down. Did you have you knew the kind of material that interested you? You alluded there to spies, to thrillers, to James Bond and things. But did you have an actual story, and how did you set about sitting down and putting pen to paper?
I suppose, yes, sort of from the start of what you said there, what kicked it off was about 10 years ago, I guess, something like that, 12 years ago. I really thought, if I'm going to do this, I ought to get my backside into gear and get on with it. And then it was 2011. My wife bought me a half-day introductory course at Sussex Downs College in Lewes.
Okay.
A creative writing course. And to be honest, at the end of that was it. I was hooked. Went home, found a corner, started hitting the keyboard and seeing what I could do.
Yeah.
In terms of the story, I suppose without giving the plot away, there is a point in the book where someone opens the truck, and in the back of the truck is nothing, yet there was something prior to that. And that element of the story, which is probably, I guess, 2/3, 3/4 of the way through, was the crux of my story. That's what I wanted to do. And then it sort of grew around that. The more I wrote, the more it built. And as I got through it, if you like, that was going to be the start of the story and then build on from it. But I actually had other elements I wanted to put before that. So it was quite a long process.
And did you think that the creative writing course that your wife bought you for the day or half day it unlocked something that was already within you? Did it give you confidence, or did it just clarify things really in terms of what you needed to do?
For me, the key word you said there, confidence. That's it. It actually gave me where you're sitting around with a group. I think there was only about 8 or 10 of us there. The guy Todd who ran it was superb, and we did little snippets of things, little tasks, little things. But there was no emphasis on whether the grammar was correct, whether your spelling was correct.
Yes.
It was, were you telling a story? Were you, if you like, telling something and showing something rather than just saying it? And yeah, I mean, they said, yeah, that's good, that's pretty good. Try this, do that. Yeah, pretty good. And it just literally, I got home and I thought, yeah, I can do this. So it really was the confidence boost that I needed. And it took a hell of a lot of hard work after that, a lot of support from people, which have been very, very kind and patient with me. But yeah, it really was the kick, as you say. The confidence was the biggest thing that I felt, yeah, I could actually do this now.
And the reaction of friends and family, I mean, were they pleased at home that you were sitting quietly in the corner and occupied, or was there a point where they thought, I wish we'd never started him on this now, or a bit of both?
Yeah, I think sometimes to be truthful, yes, it does take over. There's no two ways about it. You do get focused on it. You do get focused on the characters. You get focused on the plot, blah blah, and the different chapters, etc. And there are times, I think, where all the usual normal daily chores and routines are sort of to one side, and I had to be nudged now and then to say, what about this? What about that?
But they must have been so proud when you've got this into print to see you achieve something that has been a lifelong ambition, but also for them to read the end product and think, wow, this has all happened in our living room.
Yeah, I think there is an element to that, and it's a huge element of that with me. I still actually see the book and people talk about it, or you see a review on Goodreads or a review on Amazon or whatever, and I still struggle to think that was me that actually wrote that.
Yeah, well, so it was.
But it's fantastic. I'm really chuffed.
It's been well received. We should say we've sort of given the genre where you've been sort of, your style has been compared to Peter James was one of the names that was mentioned, which is no bad thing, and Dan Brown as well is another that's been mentioned. I know I don't really know Peter James, but I've interviewed him, and I know that he is meticulous in research and things, and the genre that you've chosen, or is your genre. I don't think you necessarily choose it. The genre you've fallen into requires a lot of research. And have you done most of that, been able to do most of that because of the wonders of the internet, or have you had to sort of go further than that?
No, I mean, most of it you can get a hell of a lot of information on the internet, as you know. And I think it's just being very, very careful, making sure that you research things as far as you possibly can, so that you can, if you like, describe them well. You can sometimes link them to other items as well, and also I find quite interesting sometimes trying to find the root of something, where something originated, not necessarily where it is now.
Yes.
I like some of those things.
The reason behind it.
Yeah, and the research is a lot of hard work, but of course it's one of those things. I love it because it's a subject that I love. So it wasn't really a chore. It just took a bit of time.
Where are we now? Is this the new you? I mean, you've achieved it. Is this just the beginning? Is there another book that could be written in tandem with this, like a sequel, or is it definitely going to be another book, maybe unrelated, by Martin Link, or have you done it and you're moving on to something else?
No, I've just finished the first draft of the second book of the sequel, which is, if you like, in timeline, it's a follow-on story, but not a continuation of the first story. And then the third book is actually a continuation of the first story.
Oh, okay.
So sort of trying to get a bit of a change, but keep it going.
Yeah.
I've got the third book's in my head. The fourth book I've got some ideas about. So I'll just see how it goes. It's fun at the moment. So
yeah. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Accolades though, it's Misdirection is in paperback. It's available as an ebook and also as an audio book. And in fact, the audio version of the book won an award in the US, which you were very proud of as well.
Oh yeah, that was just phenomenal, I must admit, and that's down to the kindness of Chris McDonnell, who narrated it for me, and he's done a superb job of it. He's just awesome. Some people may remember the name, but you can Google the name and you'll see him. He's on TV and radio and that quite a lot, 70s, 80s. Now he's a very, very good narrator, and he very kindly narrated for me. And yeah, we won an earphones award, as they call it, with Audiophile in the States. yeah, I just chuffed. But as I say, I like to share a bit of it, but I think probably it's more 70-30 in his favour of making my book good.
When it came down then, Martin, before we run out of time, to the dreaded editing process and this area that really, I suppose, put you off for 40 years, we could argue, from writing. What was that like? What was the relationship like you had with the editor? Was it as bad as you thought? And how did you find that?
I found it absolutely fantastic. I learnt a lot through it. It's made me even work harder to be more precise before I hand it over to someone else, because obviously some of the things are glaringly obvious when someone points them out, and that's frustrating if nothing else. But I did learn a lot, and consistency and style and things like that. There was a lady in America actually who did the editing for me, and she was just fantastic. And she explained everything. It wasn't just a lot of, it wasn't red pen as such, because it's all done on Word now, but it wasn't just that. They were covering letters, explanations of why, and certain things were quite funny that I'd got wrong in the States.
Yes.
For example, taking the left-hand filter off of a road in the States, which obviously would have caused a major accident.
You'd have killed yourself, yes.
Killed myself. So things like that were quite useful that were corrected. But yeah, I enjoyed the process again, because for me it's another thing that I'm learning, and tense as well. There is a sort of odd joke between people and myself that I can change tense 3 times in the same sentence. I've really struggled with that, to be fair. And again, she was very good and helped to explain that. But and also that it's the way I write. I write in the first person present, and she explained that's not easy to do, and you have to be really consistent.
Yes, you have to be on it all the time. Yeah, otherwise you can slip into the other. Yes, yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, it was a good process, to be fair. Very good process.
Well, we'll say where people can get hold of a copy of Misdirection in a moment. Before you go there and we play the cause, motivational speech time, what would you say to somebody who's say, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, who wanted to do it's never done it? What would you say to them?
I would say just get on and write. Use Nike's term, just do it. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. There's loads of books out there of how to do this, how to do that, how to do the other. But to me, the main thing is to write. Get good friends who read a lot to read what you're doing, and take their advice. Just say, look, tell me the truth, and go with it. And you will get there. I mean, there are certain things which can help you in terms of short chapters are quite good these days, which again is a Peter James trait as well.
Yes, sometimes just a page and a half is all he does. Yes.
Exactly, and I unintentionally followed that sort of pattern, mainly because I just did it in little blocks to make it achievable. But yeah, the big thing is to just get out there and write. There's editors, other people that can help you with the other side of it, but get the story down. Get the story down.
All right, Martin, we're out of time. It's lovely to see you. Thank you so much for coming in. martinlink.co.uk is your website.
Thank you.
Is the book available through that, and also in all good stockists on Amazon and so on and so forth?
Yeah, Amazon and City Books in Brighton have also stocked it for me very kindly. But yeah, it's on Amazon, and as you said, it's ebook, paperback and audiobook. All right. So thank you.
martinlink.co.uk, and he's the author of Misdirection.